I'm joined by Captain Bill of Hackensack Riverkeepers. Captain Bill, how are you today?
Oh, fine. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. I want to get right into it. Can you tell our audience about the devastating fire at your headquarters?
Well, May 16th, I had been out on the river all day aboard one of our vessels, and I got home around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 5:30 the phone rang, and it was my program director, and he told me, "You better get up to Hackensack, the building's on fire." And I was totally astonished by this message, so I jumped in my truck and I drove up there, and as soon as I got out of Secaucus and heading north on through Bergen County, I could see a column of smoke in the air from miles away, from 5 miles away. And I was like, oh my God. And when I got up to Hackensack, there was 3 different fire companies there. They had a couple of aerial ladders that were dumping water on everything, and the flames were shooting through the roof of the building next door. Some of those flames shot through the roof of my building, through a skylight that we have in the office, and there was only one big scorch mark inside the building, but the rest was all water and smoke damage. The smoke damage was, it smelled like the inside of a fireplace, and the water damage, we had over 2 feet of water in our basement, just standing water that came in through the skylight, came in through the front door and the back door. One of my friends who is a professional firefighter, he saw some of the pictures, and his remark to me was, the Hackensack Fire Department did a great job of saving your building. Of course, all of the contents are gone. Right now, Hackensack Riverkeeper is the proud owner of an empty box on Main Street, and we're trying to put it back together.
I'm so sorry. That is really devastating. And the enormity of it, if you could see it from 5 miles away and then knowing that that's your building.
Yeah, it was pretty devastating moment, you know. But like I said, my staff rose to the occasion. I want to do a shout out to the ServPro, because ServPro came that night. They boarded up the building, and they were back on Monday morning. And they stayed with us right through the whole process of emptying out the building. You know, the optimistic part of my life, I say to myself, this is a way to start over. And when we go back into the building, hopefully it'll be more efficient and it'll serve our purposes even better. But we have a long way to go.
Captain Bill, where can people go to find more information on donating?
The easiest way for people to donate right now would be to go to our GoFundMe page. GoFundMe.com. They'll find us. The page should come up, and they can help with the cause. You know, we're gonna have a lot of expenses, and some of them are going to be unplanned expenses, because I've been around long enough to know that you can't plan for everything.
Captain Bill, let's take a look at our interview with you from last year.
In the 1990s, the Meadowlands, which is the estuary of the Hackensack River, was under siege by developers, and we were losing habitat, we were losing species, we were losing water quality, and nobody really was worried about that. They were more worried about building office buildings and warehouses. When I founded Hackensack Riverkeeper, that was my primary focus for the first several years that the organization was running. In order to reach the public, we have several programs that we do. We do our pontoon boat cruises, where we take about 3,000 people a season out on the river. And then we have our river cleanup program. And this year we broke any records that existed. We did over 40 cleanups within the watershed of the Hackensack and the nearby Passaic. And we've mobilized about 1,200 volunteers to do that work, took out about 25,000 pounds of garbage. Our most recent victory is the victory to stop another fossil fuel power plant from being built in the Meadowlands. It took us a little bit over a year to get Governor Murphy to come to his senses, but he did, and he announced about a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago, that he was opposed to the project. And the very next day, the principals that were promoting the project backed away. We had 50 towns that passed resolutions in opposition to this thing happening. 50 towns did resolutions to the mayor and council, and almost all of them were unanimous. You know, so I guess they finally realized is not a popular idea, you know? And if we're ever going to wean ourselves off of fossil fuels, you can't do that by building new fossil fuel facilities. You have to spend your money. If you're going to spend your money, spend it on renewables. And if you're not ready to do that, then get into another business. We're pragmatic. We know these in post-industrial sites, it would be next to impossible to restore them to any habitat value, but they can be restored for economic value and for community benefits. And that's what we look for. You know, we want the best deal for the river and the best deal for the communities. Over the years, we've been able to, bring the Meadowlands to a much better place. We now have over 8,000 acres of wetlands that are permanently preserved in the Meadowlands, and we've got over 275 species of birds and about 70 species of marine life that are back into the Hackensack River now. So the river's in recovery. It's got a long way to go, but I'm working on it, and my staff is working on it day in and day out, and we're making a difference.
Captain Bill, thank you so much for joining me in studio today. It's really great to see you.
It's really great to get out of the house and be here in the studio so we can see each other, distanced but face to face.
Agreed.